Hello everyone, Seraphin here again. We're coming back with some more Metroid Fusion. And when I last left us, we were on our way to go find this massive bio reading that knocked out the power. And as you remember from last time, I have missiles now, which I need to knock this thing off the wall. And run through this little secret passage. Now, you might recall seeing this thing before, but now that I have missiles, I can totally knock that thing out. There's a green parasite. I get 2 missiles back from every one of those green parasites. Doesn't sound like a lot, but you tend to find a lot more of them once your missiles are running low. And we're gonna fall down here, which is not fun. Still can only crouch, can't do anything else. So I was explaining that I like this game for the horror action elements of it. We haven't gotten to see a whole lot of that just yet, but as we pick up, you'll see quite a bit more. And here we have a missile tank. This is one of the many collectibles in this game. There are several, and by several I mean quite a few missile tanks strewn around this game. Believe it or not, if I find all of them, there's a hidden one right there, but you didn't know that. And real quick before I click off of this, if you look on the top right there, you'll see a little mini-map, and you'll see a circle in the green spot that I'm in right now. That means there is a tank in this room. And once I pick it up, however, it turns into a dot, meaning that I got it. So, if I look at my map, you'll see the blinking areas where I am now. That means there was a tank here, but I did acquire it. And every one of those squares is the equivalent of like one screen length, basically. More or less. Sometimes they're a little longer than that, but... So, if you're in an area and you see that circle show up, chances are there's something hiding and you should look around for it. They're all good. There's nothing bad to pick up in this game. If you look up here real quick, you see the other side of that tangled mess of cables there. And up here is the save room, denoted by the S on the map. The N on the map is navigation rooms, R is a recharge room, and D is a data room. So you'll see the missile tank I picked up gave me 5 more missiles maximum. You get 5 per pack you pick up. Believe it or not, the maximum that you can pick up in this game is 250. So there are quite a few missiles to find. And this is the guy that guards the boss door, this creepy eye-looking thing. You can hurt him with missiles, but only if you see his pupil in that eye. If you don't, that means he's charging an attack and you should get out of the way, because it kind of hurts. And that one didn't, but for most of the ones, when you defeat those little wall guardians, they'll drop a red parasite, and the red parasites will completely fill your health and ammunition. I think within restraints. I think it restores like 10 energy tanks worth. We don't have anywhere near that, so you'll see this door is grayed out, meaning we can't go back. We have to proceed. And we get the ominous, creepy music telling us that we're coming up on a boss. And here we have an energy tank. And picking that up, you'll see I will add a little red bar to my life total up in the top left. Every one of those tanks is the equivalent of 100 energy, so now I have 199. And that can be seen here on the status screen, with my energy total there, along with my maximum missiles. And this screen will also show any suit upgrades or weapon upgrades, anything like that that I pick up. So right now I only have the basic suit, the basic beam, and basic missiles. But as I acquire more upgrades, you will see this list expand considerably. And obviously we have the map here. This is nowhere near the entire span of the game. This is maybe 20% of it, I want to say. It's not even close, probably. Fun little fact, though. There's a hidden area right here. I've played this a lot. I know where these secrets are. And down here we have another energy tank. So now I'm to 299 energy. I've already tripled my health capacity in about 5 seconds. And we're going to fall down this pit here. And that will lead us to that horrifying mass of death. And this is the boss. I don't remember all the boss's names because some of them are really hard to pronounce and some of them are translated straight from Japanese, so... As much of an avid fan I am of Japanese, I am not able to reliably speak it, so I will not embarrass the language or myself by attempting to do so. This thing is only, I believe this thing's only vulnerable to missiles, It might be able to make regular shots, I'm not sure. Let's find out. No, or I'll just curl up and... Okay, you can do it with beam too. Missiles are generally stronger and a better choice if you still have them. You need them to give those little handholds to grab onto. Now this thing is only vulnerable to missiles, but you'll see all these floating green parasites will make sure that I have plenty of ammo if I had expended it all during the actual boss fight. And killing that's called the Core X, by the way. Every boss will end with one of those. Doing that will release the free-floating giant parasite, and that will give me the ability to turn into a Morph Ball, arguably one of the most useful abilities in Metroid. So now when I crouch twice, I turn into a little ball. And I can roll into these little narrow crevices here. And you'll notice that picking up that Core Axe also completely refilled my missiles. So that was the first boss. Not very overwhelming, but they start you out pretty simple. I tend to spam the missiles quite a bit because you get so many of them, there's no reason not to. What was up here? Oh yeah, we can kill this now because we have missiles. I believe this is a recharge room through here. Yep. So standing in this recharge pad will completely refill all of my health and all of my weapons. These rooms are very few and far between, unfortunately. So when you find one, it's usually a godsend. We're going to save up real quick. I'm just going back the way that I came mostly because I need to go to a navigation room to get some more orders from my computer friend. That's the only real part of this game that feels linear, is once you've completed your objective, your next objective is usually to go find the navigation room to figure out where you're supposed to go next. That being said, once you start recovering more and more abilities, you'll have the ability to access areas that aren't on the map and kind of go places where you shouldn't, and that allows you to get some free roaming style stuff, exploration. Samus, it's as I feared, the breeding environments have been invaded by X-parasites. Sector 1 SRX shows several abnormalities on biosensors. Sector 1 is a simulation of the SR388 ecosystem. To get there, take the main elevator to the access shaft and use elevator number 1. Is your objective clear? Well, sure. Use the navigation room just inside for further briefing. I'm not sure, but I think that whoever allowed the X into the environment may also be linked to the earlier explosion. Well, foreshadowing, he's right about that. But we won't see who that is for a little while yet. Now we can roll into here, and there's another missile tank. So like I said, the upper limit of missiles to get in this game is 250, so we have quite a bit more tanks to collect during our adventure here. And we're going to roll through under here. We get this prohibitively long hallway. And down the main elevator we go. What in the crap? First time I saw that, I was pretty terrified. And I am not going to say a word when that thing shows up, because I don't want to ruin it. I'll let the computer tell you. I'm sure some of you are screaming, I know what it is! Well, listen, some people don't play this game and don't know. So this is Sector 1. Here's the navigation room. Every one of these sectors, there's 6 of them, begins with the elevator and then a nav room, a save room, and a recharge room all in a line there, and then it brings you into the actual sector proper. The main elevator leading to the access shaft has been severely damaged. It will be totally unusable for some time, unfortunately. Some unknown agent is at work. Something very powerful, certainly not human. I'll report when I know more. Now, listen closely. The X in Sector 1 have invaded the atmospheric stabilizers. They must want to alter the environment to their needs. They are already reproducing. Clear all 5 atmospheric stabilizers to stop them. Is your objective clear? Sure. Now, get moving. So we need to clear the X out of the atmospheric stabilizers. It doesn't give you a counter or anything, which is nice. It kind of just makes you look around until you find them all. Unfortunately, like I said, in the early levels, this game kind of holds your hand a little bit, but as you find more abilities and gain the ability to explore new regions that aren't charted necessarily, it feels a lot more open, like the old school Metroid games, and you kind of lose the sense of, where the heck am I supposed to go? I can go wherever the heck I want. Up here we have a green door that we can't get through, but we can get through this one. You see this big old blob of whatever the heck. Shoot it a whole bunch till it blows up. That's rather large. Once you kill it all, they just dropped all these. Oh, here we go. It takes 3 missiles to kill those little wall guardian things. So here, that's one of the stabilizers right there, and you can see there's an X floating right inside of it. That's why it's all hazy and the alarms are going off in the background. The only way to damage this thing is through the little vent on the front. 3 hits is enough. So this one is online, and you'll see it'll start cleaning out the atmosphere and bringing it back to normal. And then the alarm klaxons stop going off and all that fun junk. So that was the first one. Here's more of these little toady things that we shot in the intro. And then that thing. Oh, jeez. Really? This little bug thing? These missiles take out the shell on that thing. Apparently I'm not as good of a shot as I thought I was. And then down here is an energy tank. Now, if you're low on health, energy tanks, picking one up will heal you automatically. Which is alright. I didn't necessarily need one all that badly, but it's still nice regardless. And we're going to continue on this direction, because there's stabilizer number 2. So I talked a little bit about the fact that this was the first Metroid game I ever played. It's probably going to come as a shock to some of you who are like veterans of the series, for example, because this one's kind of unusual when compared to the mainstream ones. For example, like the first Metroid, Return of Samus, Super Metroid, that kind of thing. This one is very different, particularly with regards to the atmosphere and the story, and the fact that instead of just picking up little random pickups, I'm actually absorbing parasites to heal myself and whatnot. But this is what gave me the sense that this game was more, I guess, I'm not going to say adult-oriented, because it's really not, but it wasn't meant as some kind of fun, happy little platforming game like Mega Man or Mario or that kind of thing. This was a little more gritty, a little more sci-fi thriller sort of series, and I really liked that when I was a teenager and experiencing this for the first time. Funnily enough, this is one of the few games that I first got to play on the Game Boy Advance as a whole. I never had a Game Boy Advance until almost my last year of high school, but I did have access to an emulator, and that's what I'm playing it on right now. I do own this cartridge, just like Fire Emblem. Another missile tank over here. So I'm only recording on the emulator because it's much easier to do so, but I do own this game. That being said, the Game Boy Advance was just amazing to me with regards to the quality of the games that are on it. There's still so many good titles on this console to this day. And I routinely go back and play a lot of them. Most notably, Fire Emblem and this one. In fact, I play this title so much, I probably play it at least once every year. I've played it at least a couple dozen times by this point, considering I started when I was in high school. And I'm not going to talk about how old I am right now, but anyway, it's been a while. That's all you need to know. And these are, if you're a fan of Metroid, you recognize these as space pirates. These are a group of what could be considered, I guess, Samus's nemesis, almost. Well, their leader certainly is her nemesis. If you're familiar with Ridley, Ridley is the leader of the space pirates. These aren't actually space pirates, they're just X-possessed ones. So in here is the third atmospheric stabilizer, and I will bust that right about now. I don't know why I jumped down there. Let's walk across here. Three missiles puts it out of its misery. Alright. So that's 3 of the 5 stable. That being said, I'm going to call it for now, but we'll pick up and grab the other two in the next episode. So thank you all for joining me on Metroid Fusion so far. This has been Seraphin, and stay classy, internets.